All right, welcome to sogiftedpodcast. Podcast. I'm Katie. Let's get the show started. If I get the show started every minute, every day, every hour, every second, it's a tragedy happening in the world today. We got to take care of one another. So before I get the show started, I'd like to talk to you all about a few things. I'm always having a conversation when it comes to the people in the communities, even family, friends, whatever the case may be. When it comes to me and or how I converse with people, beings, goddess and gods. But at the end of the day, when they say the rabbit hole, it goes very, very far. Some people would rather not indulge in that. And that's okay, you're entitled to it. But you have some people that will love and willing, no matter what, to get to the bottom of the truth. For most, the truth can hurt. And they'd rather be lied to, because a lie feels good, I guess, to them. I'm always going to search for truth. That's just what I care about the most, is the truth, because I know how to progress and grow. So having a dialogue with someone, if we are on a certain frequency, high frequency, I don't deal with low frequency, but high frequency, contingent to the topic of what we're discussing, and we are, having a great dialogue. Sometimes me or the other party might want to, talk about a few other things. So when that vibe is going, and it feels good to have a dialogue with another being, I throw icing on top, right? And when someone kind of like, I guess you can call it, for like a term, like a glitch in the matrix, it's like they don't want to hear it. It's just don't, what you talking about? Like, now you talking crazy, whatever. And it's like, but we were just vibing. Now all of a sudden you don't want the truth, like the truth within what we're discussing, the honest truth. I just shut down because I don't have time to prove to anyone about anything. I ask these questions, and do you believe in something you can't see, smell, or touch? We just go from there. At the end of the day, service and our product is being offered, and there's other people, other entrepreneurs out here that's providing the same service and our product in the respectable communities, possibly around the world. And those who are first will be last. Those who are last will be first. And that's what's happening in the world. And some people, it's kind of difficult to live with. Someone that looks like you or someone that's close to you are the ones that's chosen. And it's kind of hard to believe. That's something they got to deal with. That's something they have to look in the mirror and check themselves about, because that's their own fears and insecurities that they are dealing with. Not the person that's actually been helping, will continue to help those who are in need for it and looking for change. Some people are content with where they are, oppression as I call it. As long as they are comfortable in oppression, they're okay. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those who are on the fence of frustration, pain. They want new. They want to try something new. They're just not quite sure what direction to go towards. Those are the ones that I'm discussing and talking to. Certain things like, vehicle and automobile, stuff like that. Just the simple things. Those are two different things. Now, where you research and dive into to find a definition or whatever information that you want to go about contingent to what was just stated, that's what you got to look for. But what I tell people, words have double meanings and plus more. The words and language that society use in other places and locations and institutions doesn't mean the same thing. Those who understand. Those who don't, that's just what it is. So if you are looking to do something different, trying to find your purpose, want to support something different, because as you can see out here in the world, it's a lot of fraud going on. It's a lot of things that's taking place People are entitled to who they like, dislike. Okay, that's fine. What I care about is the business aspect, as far as who can do the job. Does it work? That's it. Now, you make things personal, that's on you. Growing up back in the day, a long time ago, not too long ago, but I still can, play the game. I play basketball, and this world can be competitive. It's not competition, it's not competing with you, but those who was on the sideline waiting to play basketball, right? To say the ones that say I got next, and those that was on the basketball court, the ones that's been winning, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row, they feel like they're the best in the world. Sometimes they are even better than the professional players that play in the NBA, street ballers or whatever you want to call it. People will say, well, I could win against you and your team. And those who really know the truth in that, you look at each other like, what are they talking about? And they come to a realization, as in, once they get on the basketball court, they realize that they can't compete. As you should be confident in what you do, but we need to get back to what you can and cannot do, what's true and what is not true. The gray areas, I like to call, people playing the fence, should come to an end. If you real, you real. You fake, you fake. That's just what it is. You feel some type of way, then just feel some type of way about it. That is what it is. The world never stop. The realness keep going and keep doing what they've been doing. Doing the godly thing, and being a warrior, generals and whatever language you want to use. That's what we getting back to, the good old ways of who can do it, who can't, who has the resources and who don't, who can get things done and who can't. That's it. All this politicking, which is part of the world that we live in, is part of the game. Even on this platform, those who have respectable, their followers, their views, likes, kudos to you. Then you have those who might not have just as many social media presence, as they would call it, influencers, these and things. There are people out here that call themselves influencers, but they're not influencing anything. You have the YNs, as they call themselves, listening to some people that was behind getting out of jail, coming back home and telling their respectable war stories. It could have happened, possibly happened, did happen, but they care about, what's going on right now. How can you help them right now? How can you help them, guide them, plant the right seed for them to do or not do what they currently doing at their present moment? Other than that, they're not trying to hear no story. Who are you today? What are you doing? What have you been doing? And can they respect what you got going on? And then they get on the team and they help push the narrative of helping the communities going forward. Other than that, they're not listening to anything. They're not at all. So I commend and salute, the YNs. They have now, but they also the future. And that's what it's about. That's why it's division between the elderly and the younger people, because it seems like everyone wants to play the fence, no matter the age. That's just what it is. You still have a small portion, a good portion of those who stand on morals and on principles, and no matter the weather, no matter the climate, they never change. They stand on what they stand on. I salute you. Continue to salute those who believe in or know who they are, know thyself, and they know where they're going, and they know who with them, and they know who's not with them. That's it. All that playing the fence and, what they say, throw the rock and hide your hand. There's no more of that. That's out the window. So I would like to say to those who have been continuing to support this platform, if you're supporting it, if you're just watching, never liking, never, supporting, or whatever the reason, your reason is, I'm not quite sure. I appreciate you as well, because without you, it just is what it is. I'm thankful for you to continues to watch. So at the end of the day, those who are doing what they're doing when it comes to what's taking place in the world. Some people don't want to hear about the things that's taking place in the world because it could be most likely fear, and they don't want to believe what is actually happening in real time. It is. Eventually, it's going to be at your doorstep. It's going to come knocking, and then what? On here for a very, very long time. Very long time I've been speaking about, job loss, people cutting, these institutions in corporate America have been downgrading their infrastructures and replacing beings with robots and AI technology. This is where the world's going. If you're not updating your database, learning new information, you will be left behind. It's just what is. Nothing personal. It's just the way society and the world and how things is going. So for those who not sure, once again, what they want to do, how they want to do it, they tired of what they're going through, this platform and other platforms will continue to help, are here to help. Just raise your hands, reach out, email, contact information, whatever you're comfortable with. Things can get done in no time. You just have to be ready to do your part. That's it. That's all. Doesn't matter what business, what industry you're talking about. It can get done. Will get done. Been getting done for a very long time, and it's not going to stop. It's only going to grow from here. So shout out to all the entrepreneurs that's doing their thing. You and your team, your family, comrades, whatever you want to call them. Salute you. Keep going. Proud of you. So what's on my radar today? For the most part, I'm just gonna play these videos of people talking about what's actually happened or happening in the world today. You got a lot going on when it comes to Social Security, layoffs. It's a lot that's going on right now. So they saying that they still talking about the mass layoffs. It's by CBS News. I'm gonna play this video. Go from there.
More federal employees are finding themselves out of a job this week as the Trump administration continues to make massive cuts to its workforce. The Federal Aviation Administration is the latest federal agency to face cuts, with potentially hundreds of workers being told over the weekend they were getting laid off. The firings impacted workers like safety personnel and maintenance crews, not air traffic controllers. We know they are experiencing a massive shortage. The union representing FAA workers warned the agency is already facing a staffing shortfall, and these removals could only worsen that. Despite the backlash, President Trump is forging ahead with his plan to drastically reduce the size of the federal government, even asking the Supreme Court to get involved in his effort. At least 70 lawsuits have been filed against the Trump administration so far. 10 of them are employment-related. President Trump has filed an emergency appeal with the Supreme Court over one of those cases, asking the justices to reverse a lower court ruling and allow him to fire the head of the Office of Government Ethics. CBS News Chief White House Correspondent Major Garrett joins me now here in the studio. Just a treat to have you here in New York. What is the general consensus in Washington that, yes, maybe there is waste that needs to be cut at the federal level, but is it being done too hastily, and what departments are people most concerned about?
So haste is a very serious question. It may not be a question for the country writ large yet, because they're thinking, well, President Trump said he was going to move in this direction, maybe not as specifically as the actions so far indicate, but he's moving in a direction they're generally supportive of. In Washington, though, most people know two things. 80% of the federal workforce does not live in D.C., Virginia, or Maryland. It's across the country. One of the largest places where you'll find federal employees, Lindsay, is Texas, California, Florida, New York. They're dispersed all over the country. Point two, when you talk about the CDC, the NIH, FAA, NTSB, IRS, these are agencies that Americans either rely on or interact with on a customer service basis. And if any changes come to them that they're not pleased with, they will associate one with the other. So governance is an important thing, and governance intersects with politics when governance lets you down. I'm not predicting that, but the Elon Musk, Donald Trump orientation to this is no one will notice except you'll save money and everything will be better and more efficient. Okay, that's a theory. If it falls down in practice, there will be a political consequence.
It's not like anybody looks forward to making that call to the government either, to the IRS, and who knows what that interaction may be now if that institution is facing cuts. We know that lawsuits against some of the Trump administration's firings laws were passed by Congress to protect those jobs. And so is the president asking the Supreme Court to make an exception for him, consider an exception for him, or essentially undo precedent?
To reevaluate. And this court has reevaluated things. It has reevaluated presidential immunity. It's reevaluated abortion rights in this country. It has reevaluated regulatory controls and powers within the federal government. It did so famously in a case called Chevron, which I won't go into, but it basically overturned or reoriented 40 years of understood regulatory power in Washington. So the president is betting it's at least worth asking this Supreme Court, constituted with 3 of his appointees, with a 6-3 conservative majority, if it will give him more latitude than previous Supreme Courts have given previous presidents about this matter. His assumption is it's worth trying and he may prevail. If he does, it would overturn precedent and give him even more executive authority.
Every president wants to surround themselves with their own people.
Sure.
Replace people with people that they like. Are inspectors general, or for example, the head of the Office of Government Ethics, immune from that? Are they supposed to be?
Congress passed a law about inspectors general. If you're going to fire an inspector general, you have to notify Congress 30 days in advance and explain why. President Trump did not do that in either instance. For any of the inspectors generals, he's summarily fired upon taking office. So he's in clear violation of the law. Is someone going to sue him over that? Is someone in Congress going to say?
Outcry.
Right. Is someone in Congress say, how dare you? We wrote this law. A previous president signed it. You're bound by this. The president at this moment in this area does not feel particularly bound, and he's willing to press in every direction for this reason. Well, many reasons, but this, I think, primary reason. He knows he's on a short timeline. Elon Musk can only work for the government for 6 months as a special government employee. And the president knows that if he doesn't move as rapidly as possible, break through as many of these barriers as possible, he won't get very far. If he leaves it to Congress, as previous presidents have, and work through the system, his assumption is it will all grind to a halt. So better to push things as hard as you can, see what you can accomplish.
I thought it had more to do politically with the midterms and making sure that Republicans.
I don't think this president is that concerned about the midterms. Republicans feel very emboldened right now politically. That might be a miscalculation. I think this is much more. It's a 6-month time limit on Elon Musk and those working for him. And the faster you push, the more likely you are to succeed at least some of your goals. I think that's the internal White House assumption.
Very interesting. So we are seeing the Trump administration trying to rehire some of the people that they laid off, particularly the National Nuclear Security Administration. What's your take there?
Well, the president realized very quickly that that's a bad call, that the optics of that are just terrible.
What are the optics?
Well, if they're in charge of monitoring the safety, workability of our nuclear weapons and stockpile, then they should be kept on, especially when the president is talking as expansively he is about how valuable those are to us, how they could be negotiating chips with Russia and China and possible arms reductions. You want that locked down and under very close supervision. It also suggests that in areas where, if in the future, it suddenly becomes clear to the president that politically he needs to prioritize some of these things, he may double back on some of the other firings. But in this one, he went, then he whoop. That was a hot stove moment. A rare hot stove moment.
Putting it in context that I can understand as someone who has burned herself many times. Major Garrett, thank you so much.
Sure.
So, like I said before I played the video, can you do the job? Now, no one's perfect, right? Maybe they felt as though that, they might have made a mistake. Maybe. So they decided to bring those people back to the job, to do this job, because maybe they're the best at what they do, allegedly. So nobody really knows. At the end of the day, it's about doing the job. Why not try something new? This is where we are, doing something new. People don't like change. Change is very difficult at first because you don't know what to expect. So that fear kick in. It's nothing wrong with having fear. That's just a natural thing. But what I would say is, on the other side of fear is success. If you never try, you will never know. If you never take that chance, you will never know. if you're judging people, judging the books by its cover, as they say, you will never know what's inside the book. People are entitled to what they believe. People would like to see certain things, material things, and say, oh, that person, that group, that company, that whatever it is, they doing what they doing, or they are very successful predicated off what you see. Your eyes can deceive you as well. Just like what you listen to. So you got to be mindful of these things. If not, then it's not for you, right? Those who know, knows. And those who are willing to know and learn, it's better on this side, But at the end of the day, those who don't care, and they're in their world and their lane, I respect that. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Stay over there. Do what you do. That's just what it is. That's where we are, man. No more games. All the lies. All this and all that. People judging what people don't have, rather than, if you're going to judge what they do have. Like, people shoot the messenger. Sorry for that, but they shoot the messenger rather than listen to the message. That's what's missing. People it's like a metaphor in a bar. It just go over your head, like you just miss it. And not to say you won't get it later, tomorrow, later, years, months from now, possibly. You might not never get it. It's another option that can possibly not happen for those. But, I wish you the best. At the end of the day, I want the best for you. That's just the most important part. From this side. So it's a lot moving on, but it's a lot that's going on with a lot of industries in corporate America. But with these flights, it's a lot that's going on with these flights, man. Like, all of a sudden, things just falling out of the sky. So, my thoughts and prayers goes out to those that's in these tragedy incidents when it comes to these planes and helicopters and all this. It's very unfortunate, but things happen, but it's happening too frequently, too often as of late, and this is exactly where we are. So I will play a video for that. It's by WHAS 11.
And new this morning, Southwest is preparing for the first major round of layoffs in its 53-year history. The airline says it'll cut 15% of its corporate workforce, which is more than 1,700 jobs. Southwest attributes the move to cutting costs. It's expected to save the company $210 million this year and $300 million next year. Layoffs will begin in April. And new this morning, Southwest is...
that's... I've told you all several episodes, every week, me talking about layoffs, this company, this institution, doing this, doing that, for a very long time. Now people are understanding it's no joke out here. It's really no joke out here. And when there's a loss or a downward spiral, it's opportunity for those who've been prepared for these situations, not for no one downfall, but just preparing themselves to help, to provide an opportunity, service on a product and or a job as well. You have companies in corporate America, and it doesn't matter what institution, been thriving this whole time through all this chaos that's going on in the world. They've been thriving with no speed bumps, no barriers to stop them, nothing holding them back outside of themselves, but for the most part with opportunity and no options to do what's best for you and your loved ones. That's amazing. That is an amazing thing and an opportunity, life-changing, if you ask me, that you are in the time and crisis that we are in. You're able to still provide for yourself and your loved ones, pay bills, pay debts, whatever it may be, and still also live, roof over your head, food on the table, do things that you want to do, and also have the means and the resources to do what needs to be done. That's amazing. That is amazing. That's amazing service and a product that's being done. It's a hell of a stories. A lot of stories, a lot of testimonies for those who are. You have some people traveling the world. You have some people that's actually leaving the country, living in a different country for the first time. It's a lot of people doing a lot of things. Not a lot of people. It's a pool or a portion of people or companies, people that work under the company, that are doing things for the very first time. And it's happening during this time of chaos. The question I have for you is how? When you have most, it's a great portion and a percentage of the world that's going through right now, and the numbers only rising every day, every hour, every minute, every second. So eventually, in the very near future, people will have to connect dots and or utilize the resources that's near them, or leaders that's in the community that's have things going for themselves, and or the team, the family, the company. You're gonna have to get with them, because if you don't, that's just what it is. Now, if you want to be beside those kings and queens, that's it's an opportunity for you too as well to do what they are doing, but do your own thing. You know what I mean? You can be right beside them. Y'all both doing a good deed, for what's needed in the communities and in the economy. Because right now it's a lot that has changed and will continue to change. So I don't want anyone to be left behind. I'm going to continue to say that. Try something different. Try, like I said in the past, if you're dealing with some people or have dealt with people in the past and you guys kind of have friction or whatever the case may be, if you can make amends or make amends of, making things better, I will ask you to try that. If not, if you can't, then I understand that. Keep moving forward, stay in your lane, and keep doing and continue to do what you're doing. And maybe you deal with that later, or don't care to deal with that later. But for those who have talked to someone a long time ago, or discuss opportunities and/or business, and whatever your intentions were, and whatever you have said, and you didn't hold your end of the bargain, then that's just part of what's happening to you, or what should happen to you, or what should have happened to what you agreed to. And like I said, that's the nature of life that we in. People say things and don't mean it. People talk a good game and don't back it up. That's just part of the nature. That's part of the world we live in. A shark is a shark, and a fish is a fish. You got sheeps, and what they say, you got wolves in sheep clothing, and you got sheep pretending to be wolves, and it's showing who's really who really know who really can connect the dots for you, and you. Okay, moving forward. It's a lot that's taking place when it comes to so this is about CBS News as well, when it dealing with the administration, Trump administration fires thousands of U.S. Forest and National Park Service workers.
The U.S. Forest and National Park Services were hit with major staffing cuts over the weekend. The administration fired about 3,400 recent or probationary hires with the U.S. Forest Service, meaning they're within the first year or two of employment. That's about 10% of its workforce. About 1,000 or 5% of National Park Service employees have also been let go. Popular tourist sites such as the Appalachian Trail, Yellowstone, Yosemite, and the Sequoia National Forest have been affected. The National Parks Conservation Association, a nonpartisan advocacy group, says the cuts will, quote, leave parks understaffed, facing tough questions about operating hours, public safety, and resource protection. Let's bring in Ashley Harrell. She's the National Parks Bureau Chief at SF Gate. She recently wrote an article about how these staff cuts have been impacting Yosemite specifically, with really a pretty startling headline there, talking about the chaos that's currently unfolding. Ashley, great article. Thank you for being here. Sources tell you 4% of Yosemite staff, all probationary, have been terminated. Since your article came out last week, what positions are impacted?
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I think first it's important to note that national parks are perpetually underfunded and understaffed, and Yosemite's no exception. The park has been operating at less than full staffing for years and only has about 1,200 employees to begin with. So typically in the spring and summer, when park visitation skyrockets, Yosemite brings in 350 to 400 employees to maintain order and take care of the parks and take care of the visitors. And that hiring process starts 6 months in advance. So this year, as those people were being hired, Trump's hiring freeze triggered multiple rounds of seasonal job offers being rescinded at Yosemite and across the national park system. And that affected everyone from maintenance workers to interpretive rangers to law enforcement rangers to fee technicians. Those are the people who collect your money at the gate.
So, Ashley, you write that as many as 20,000 visitors a day during peak season go to Yosemite. If I bring my family, what might I experience on my vacation this year that might be different from past years? Am I waiting in the car longer to get in? Am I walking a few extra miles to throw something away?
Sure, yeah. So basically, we're looking at a spring and summer where tens of thousands of people are showing up to the park each day, waiting 3 or 4 hours to get in, then getting stuck in traffic once they're inside, not finding places to park. And, the reservation system that is normally in place during the summertime is possibly not coming back this year.
Wow.
That's been very effective in managing crowds and protecting park resources. And right now we're waiting on the Trump administration to say whether it's going to happen, but insiders are saying it's unlikely.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, like most things that's going on in the world, once again, they just line off. So, I'm telling you what you need to know, or offering to you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. It's very disturbing. Yes, I get it. People losing their job, not able to do what needs to be done to take care of themselves and their loved ones. Like I said, the things that's taking place in the world, call it detoxing. It's detoxing a lot of things that's been happening in the dark. People that say they've been doing their job, been in position, respectable positions at whatever title that they have. Not all, but a lot of people was not doing what was asked of them. They have very high salaries, getting paid pretty well, and they wasn't doing anything, to be honest. Now that you have people that's got their foot in your neck, for lack of a term, looking to look at the books, the accounting of things that's been done. It's like it's time now. You will actually see what's going on out here, exactly what's going on. Documentations. In the past, documentation's been available, at least been available to certain groups and entities. Now it seems that it's open. It's open for the taking now. If you want the information, it's out there. You got to search for it now. It's a lot of information out here. I just hope that you're getting the right information. It's a lot of information. So, like I said, you have to get with people that actually know what they're doing. And at this time, it's getting easier, actually, to see who's been peaking in the right direction when it comes to helping and doing what they love and building and building and building and continues to build to make them better. Not only themselves. If you be better, you better everyone that's around you. Like I said, it's frustrating. You gotta allow people to kind of catch up a little bit, but you should not stop, because if you're carrying the torch, you gotta keep going. You gotta get to that finish line. That's what it's about. You get to that finish line, eventually they will get there. Maybe not, but you still have to get there because you are the chosen one. That's it. You might be possibly the what they call the black sheep of the family. You're the one to break that generational curse. You gotta keep going. Difficulty, possibly, most likely, yes. But you still gotta keep going. You still gotta do the unknown. You have to learn to unlearn to relearn. You gotta learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And being uncomfortable for most people, that's not a good place for them. So they rather do what's comfortable for them, even if they've been oppressed. And that's the choices that they're gonna make, and that's the choice they will continue to make, even during this crisis that we have going on. If you want change, you gotta shake that off. We gotta wake up. If you don't know how, like I said, get with someone that's encouraging you, can encourage you. If you gotta listen to some affirmation, manifestation, do that. Do whatever you need to do to get yourself back on track. What's it saying? There's nothing wrong with stumbling. At least when you stumble, you can keep going. If you fall, you got to get up. And a lot of people are falling and they're not getting up. And like I said, we got to help one another. But people got to be willing to accept the help. If not, they just going to drag you down. And those who are the leaders of their village, tribe, community, keep going. Keep going, and everything will work itself out. Play a few more videos. This is the Elon and Trump was transpiring, continued to, like, they say they attempted to trying to confiscate information. Like I said on this platform for a long time, I've been talking about information been mishandled. What's been transpiring around the world. Now that certain people seem as though want certain type of things to happen, or power, or to invade in certain institutions or genres, people like, nah, that's not the right people to do this and do that. But somebody got to shake some things up. Somebody had to do it. Somebody had to go in and detox a system. There's a lot of systems out here, so people got to see what's going on with these systems, because a lot of them are failing, have been failing. For the most part, people have been doing a marvelous job of covering up a system, even when it was flawed, or have missing links or kinks in it. And now that everything is being placed on the table or in front of you, people not liking that, because certain people were rubbing shoulders with certain people respectfully, but it's just part of the nature, and this is where we are. So some people are, like I said, got some foot on certain people's necks, and the truth is coming out. And like I said, a lot of people don't like the truth because the truth hurts for most. And, that's a wake-up call.
Now to a live look at the White House, where President Trump's administration continues to reshape and downsize the federal government. The Department of Government Efficiency is zeroing in on several agencies. The top Social Security official resigned as DOGE employees were trying to get access to internal data systems that have personal records of millions of Americans. The White House says most Americans approve of the moves, but recently fired workers do not.
I just don't understand how all this can happen, and there's no control over it. And we've got people in the Oval Office now that aren't politicians, that have no right to be making these decisions.
President Trump says Musk's team will be headed to the Pentagon Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says he welcomes DOGE efforts and expects to find billions in savings. Hegseth says they will be looking to possibly cut climate programs in the Department of Defense. American and
if it's within the rules and the regulations, policies, laws, constitution, if it's within all that, that's pretty much what I'm gonna say to that. That's it. You know, people are not gonna like anything. They're entitled to what they like and what they dislike. A lot of people disliking a lot of people out here. Some people dislike other people to have power or in a position to have a say-so over them. You know, I know one thing before this chaos been taking place, detoxing in the world when it comes to layoffs. Before all this was taking place, a lot of people was going to work, you know, and they dislike their boss or the CEO of the company, but they went to work. And the CEO and or the boss did his job. People might not like them personally, but the business was thriving and the business was doing well. People could dislike someone personally, but can they do what needs to be done? What you need done, can they get it done? Can they give you the tools and the information and the service and the product that you want and purchase? Did they give it to you? Did they offer what they say they was, that you was asking for? Did you get what you was asking for? That's it. You worrying about what they have going on personally and what they have, what they don't have. That don't really mean. So, a long time ago, I went to and live in a different culture. And I'm from Washington, D.C., right? But I didn't travel pretty much all coast, right? I done lived on all coasts. Different coasts and cultures do things differently, respectfully. Understood. That's just what it is, right? No matter where I stood, no matter where I lived and laid my head, I was always KD. They knew I was KD. Still, to this day, I'm still KD. So that's just what it is. And different cultures do things differently. They talk different, they dress different, they do business different. It's just different. But you real. Real, recognize real, no matter how it looks, no matter the lingo, no matter the accent. Good business is good business, bad business is bad business. But I'm saying this to say this. Being from the East Coast, things are done a certain way. And, on the other coast, things are done in a different way. But like minds, great minds, think alike, and they know each other, real, recognize real, as I said. But over here, people had this ordeal, what they're saying now, no one in particular, just how it was, fake it till you make it. And that same way of thinking or perspective got some people where they are, and as far as success and wealth and doing what they always dream of doing, having a successful business and getting their family out of the community that they came from. Then, other cultures, you will never know who's who. You will never know who's a man and a woman, respectfully. You would think or perceive to think or judge like this individual or person don't have much because you just judging the books by its cover, and the whole time you talking to the man or the person that can actually change your life, help change your life. But also have some sort of say-so to make things difficult for you. Like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, it's no more playing the fence. It is what it is, or it's not. That's it. you are who you are or you're not. You can get things done or you can't. That's how it was when I was growing up. We kind of lost that along the ways. I don't know in what particular year or generation, but I would say we kind of derailed from that. But the real stayed real since day one. They still the same person from day one. They just grew within who they are, and knowing thyself and growing to find ways to do better and become better within who they are. But they never really changed from who they are. They represent what they represent and where they're from. That's it. They're originals, real chosen ones, real leaders, and they leading the pack. They leading the village. They leading the communities. They leading their tribe, and they doing some amazing things out here in this world. And once upon a time, those who were playing the fence, those who were lying about whatever it may have been, they would seem as though the leaders or the front runners to get things done to possibly help you do this and help you do that. And it's a lot of fraud going on in the world today. And they've been, detoxed out of a system or the systems. Because that's what's needed, because that's the problem with the world. That's why we divided. And those who've been helping, continue to help a lot of communities and have love for people that have love for their communities and their loved ones and their family, they are coming together as entrepreneurs, bosses, than ever before. And that's what's needed. And so the shakeup is what's needed. People should and will go off of, do you know, one, who you are? Two, do you have the resources? Three, can we get things done? Four, let's make it happen. That's it. And you will see and be proud of them, should be proud of them, no matter how they look, no matter their age, or even how long they, been involved in that type of industry in corporate America. They doing it. They doing it to a very, very high level. I would say to never before. Records meant to be broken. And now and the very near future, there's going to be a lot of records being broken as far as what's being done in this world, in this economy. And a lot of people who were last or seem as though they were last, they will be first. And those who seem as though was first will be last. And that's where we are. So let me see if I have a few more. Always have information, things I would like to discuss with you all about what's happening in the world. I love, health is wealth on this platform as well. So this is, you all know about that one. I'm going to play this video. They saying it's a lot of flooding going on. It's a lot of things that's happening. They're saying there's a flooding going on in Kentucky. And they're saying it's expected to rise,
At least 12 people were killed amid severe flooding in Kentucky, and that death toll, it is expected to rise. Now a winter storm is making its way to the state. It's expected to bring inches of snow and bitter cold. Temperatures to much of the state already affected by that recent flooding. Let's connect once again with CBS News national reporter Karen Hua, who is in Bowling Green, Kentucky for another day. I remember, Karen, you warned us yesterday about the challenges winter weather presents. How is that playing out?
That the polar vortex won't be affecting Kentucky like many other Midwest states, but we are still under a winter storm threat until tomorrow, Wednesday. Our meteorologists predict we're getting about 3 to 5 inches of snow later on this evening. So, like we mentioned yesterday, the fear is that roads that are still flooded could freeze over. So emergency crews are really rushing around trying to restore power to thousands of Kentuckians who still don't have it. Of course, they want to get that heat and electricity back on before temperatures get too dangerously low.
It's still a serious situation there for so many. I know that yesterday we spoke about how surprising it was to see such a high death toll. What are you hearing from people you're speaking with who have been impacted by this? It seems to have taken so many people by surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. And this whole Kentucky area was also affected by flooding and these storms in 2022. So in some senses, it is a bit like a deja vu. Some folks we spoke to still can't get in and out of their neighborhoods. A little piece of good news here is that the rivers in Kentucky have since crested or reached their highest level, which means they're only expected to go down today. Even driving around this morning, some of the roads we saw flooded yesterday are either clear today or they've receded by quite a bit. The flooding was much heavier in the eastern part of the state. That's about 4 to 5 hours from where we are right now. And those displaced families, we've been told by the governor, have been put in this state park that's acting as an emergency shelter. The latest from Governor Andy Beshear of Kentucky, like you mentioned, 12 people have unfortunately passed away. That's the death toll right now. The victims include 2 men who died from car-related injuries. We know a man died from floodwaters. And, of course, there was that mother and 7-year-old child who were swept away by the floodwaters. Outside of Kentucky, there were 3 other deaths across the U.S. We know a man was hit by a tree in his home and passed away. A driver in Philadelphia was hit by a tree in her car. And then also another man was swept away by the floodwaters in West Virginia. So just another tragic continuation of this story. Errol?
Yeah, Karen, we appreciate your reporting. You and the crew stay safe there. At least 12 people were killed.
So, in the DMV area, tomorrow, they projecting to have snow, 20% chance from early in the AM to in the evening of inclement weather. This weather's going up and down. There's a lot that's going on out here. It's a lot that's taking place out here. So we have to look after one another and take care of each other. That's it. You know, so my thoughts goes out to the loved ones and to those who are in that tragedy in Kentucky right now. I'm gonna have one more then let you guys. So until I find that, you know, like I said, I sure appreciate everyone. Check out, you know, the merch. You can. It should be in the link in the. Should be a link in the bio. Sure appreciate it. If you're an artist and a musician, then looking for an audience, looking to get in front of a better audience or more of an audience, this platform, we can help you with that. If you're an entity that's looking to scale and grow, we can definitely help you with that. Models, commercial property, you got an event space, you need help with that. This platform also and other people can actually help you with that as well. Been helping, will continue to help. If you're a gamer, real gamer, or just a beginner that's trying to get into the gaming world and you see that it's an opportunity for you, which it is, to earn a living and do what you love to do since a kid or, as an adult, whatever it may be. Great opportunities, tournaments that you can be involved with. Get your name out there. Be put in front of a big audience, big crowd, and show how well you can play the game. That's where we are. Need media outlets or help with your platform. I'm sure they can help. If you're looking for label meetings, you want to get signed, you want to stay independent, like whatever you want to do. You need DJs, you need whatever that may be. This platform definitely can help. People been helping, will continue to help. Got to take a chance on yourself. If you are doing what you're doing up to this point, and you now seeing this broadcast right here, give it a try. Give it a try. Things will change for you. Things will change for you for the better, and for those who've been, wishing and hoping and praying about certain things to take place for themselves and loved ones, so they can, leave from where they from, or wherever they are, and they could be doing well, well off, have nice house, mansion, whatever it may be, nice cars, and you just want to do something different, try something different, we can help you too as well. We deal with all type of artists, all different genres, doesn't matter. We can definitely help you. You want to be in movies, film, short film, skits, doesn't matter. We can definitely help you when it comes to that. Just be ready on your end. So it was something I heard before I get to this. I found it. It was this saying. Couldn't find that video, but I'm paraphrasing. On this platform for a very long time, I tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear about what's happening in the world. Ahead of time, ahead of schedule. That's one thing about these platforms, and all these broadcasts and things of that nature. It's out there, it's out there. It could be found, and it's got a mark, it got a date, timestamp of when it was said and or taking place. There's been a lot of gems being given on this platform. Those who are aware of it, those who care about it, took the gem and they, did what needed to be done. But what I realized, what I heard from this person was that when you give a game, they say the game is meant to be sold, not told. When you're giving people real game, they say for free, when you don't do nothing with it, that's on you, right? But also, the game is sold because if you pay for the information, you will at least try it. But it seems like people, wow, they give you free game. That's love, actually. It's actually love. Like they didn't have to say anything. It doesn't matter who you are, respectfully. If they give you free game and you're not supporting on the other end, or purchasing a service and a product, but they still give you free game or was giving you free game, that was love. And if people showing you love and they keep extending their hand, they're not going to allow you to keep trying to cut their hand off, or keep hurting them. They're going to stop doing it. It's in the human nature. That's just what it is. I'm not going to just keep helping someone that's not wanting that help. No matter how close we are, no matter who you are, it doesn't matter, because those who close to you, the ones that stab you in the back quicker. This is from Chevron announced layoffs affecting up to 8,000 workers. Stronger long-term competitiveness, right? That's what they saying. That's from Entrepreneur. Chevron, the second largest U.S. oil and natural gas company after ExxonMobil, told employees on Wednesday that it would lay off 15% to 20% of its workforce over the next 2 years. About 6,000 to 8,000 Chevron's global employees will be impacted. The layoffs contribute to Chevron's large goals of cutting costs by up to $3 billion before the end of 2026, per Burns. At the end of 2023, Chevron employed about 46,000 people worldwide, including 40,212 people across its operation, and 5,400 people at service stations. The layoff will only affect employees in operations, per Reuters, and impact employees across the world, including in the U.S., where over half of Chevron's workforce is based. Statement: Chevron is taking action to simplify our organizational structure, execute faster and more effectively, and position the company for strong long-term competitiveness. Chevron Vice Chairman Mark Nelson said in a statement to various news outlet. They said a source told Reuters that Chevron employees can opt for a buyout of undisclosed value and resign in exchange for severance package from now through April or May. Chevron reportedly informing workers of the option in a internal town hall. Companies like Chevron are also producing oil more efficiently than ever, reducing the need for workers. Burns reports that the U.S. produced 60% more oil per day over the past decade, while employing 40% fewer workers. Chevron reported its first loss in 4 years last month, causing the company's stock fall by 3.9% the day it reported earnings. Chevron downstream business, which refines crude oil into products like gasoline, lost $248 million in the fourth quarter of 2024 compared to a profit of $1.15 billion in the fourth quarter of 2023. They saying CNBC reports that the lower profits on fuel sales could be due to declining demand after a post-pandemic surge in the U.S. and China, the largest oil consumers. Chevron wrote in this earnings statement that diminished profits were due to lower margins on sales of refined products like gasoline, higher operating expenses. Chevron has also faced production challenges recently as it reserves or the amount of oil and gas it can extract have dipped to their lowest point over a decade. Chevron reserves have decreased from 11.1 billion barrels of oil equivalent by the end of 2023 to 9.8 billion in 2024. Yeah, it's once again, it's only gonna get worse. What's happening right now? So, like I said, if you are looking to invest in yourself, try something new, try investing in someone else, take a chance. Why not? Because the chances you've been taking up to this point and what's transpiring, and if that knock is at your door, you gotta make a decision. Gotta try something new. If not, if you're feeling comfortable and this is not affecting you, it's an opportunity for you too as well. It doesn't really matter who you are and what you do. It's about connecting the dots. That's where we are. Rubbing shoulders with like-minded people. It's like that. It's been like this. Will continue to be like this than ever before. Entrepreneurship is at an all-time high right now. I surely appreciate everyone who continues to tap in and support this platform. It's just So Get the Podcast. I'm KD. There we go.